Hello! So today I just wanted to dedicate a quick video to my all-time top resource, the thing that has helped me to learn Spanish more than anything else, and that is audiobooks. I do talk about audiobooks a fair amount on my channel, but I realized that I have never dedicated a full video to just talking about how much of a difference they have made for me in my language learning. I was calculating approximately how much time I have spent on Spanish audiobooks, and according to my rough calculations, it is somewhere between 450 and 500 hours, so nearly half of the total time that I have spent learning Spanish, getting Spanish input, has all involved audiobooks in some capacity. So truly it would not be an exaggeration to say that my language learning journey has just been shaped by audiobooks. And I know that they don't work for everyone. I am not, a good judge of that necessarily, because I do also listen to audiobooks in my native language. I just have always enjoyed audiobooks, but I think that even if you don't listen to them in your native language, it is worth giving them a try for language learning purposes, because for one thing, they are available in all levels, at least in most languages. It seems like there are kids books with audiobooks. There are even like picture books that have an audio book recording to go along with it. So even if you're just reading the picture book, you can have the audio with it so that you get the native pronunciation and everything. They are usually very slow spoken in comparison to other types of listening practice like podcasts, YouTube, even TV shows, and much more clear. So you are getting very, very sharp audio that is very comprehensible, at least, mechanically. They also, I think one of the biggest advantages for me is just how much they simplify my language learning routine. I don't have to try to find things all the time. I don't have to try to keep like a podcast queue full or anything like that. Something I can just turn on. Obviously it does take some effort to find the audiobooks, but once I have a bunch of audiobooks saved, I can just pick the one that I'm in the mood for, and then, for the next 10, 20 hours of listening, my plan is sorted out. I don't have to think about it really. It's autopilot for me at this point, that if I'm getting into the car, if I'm going for a walk, if I'm, riding on public transportation, anything like that, I just turn it on. And admittedly, I don't struggle to listen to things while I do tasks like that, where I know that some people do. But if you are able to listen while you do things like that, it's great. I do also listen while reading a fair amount. Still, I have through the entire time that I've been learning Spanish, and I find it still so helpful to listen to the audiobook while I'm reading the book physically. I do have a couple videos about finding places for audiobooks, one that talks about Spanish apps that could probably use updated, to be honest, and one about finding free audiobooks for any language. So those will be linked. If you are learning one of the really popular languages to learn, I think there is truly a wealth of options in different apps, different subscription services, and certainly through your library if that is an option. I do get quite a lot of books through my library, but it does not have quite the selection that I want for Spanish audiobooks. Obviously it's great when I can get any book through there, but they don't have enough that I would want to use it solely. So I do have a subscription to the app Storytel, and I have, off and on used some other apps like Nextory or Scribd for audiobooks as well. I will have a whole bunch of suggestions in the description box, but you can also always just Google in your target language, audiobook subscriptions, or ask on a subreddit that is dedicated to the language or something like that. From what I have seen, there are usually kind of 3 different types of subscriptions. One is the credit based subscription, so like Audible, where you get 1 credit per month and you buy an audiobook that is yours to keep with that. There's also limited listening, where you're not tied down to one audiobook, but there is a number of hours limit per month. So I know Next Story has this, I think Podimo maybe has this as well. And then Scribd is like unlimited, but they do start limiting which titles you can listen to. And then some of them are just truly unlimited, like Storytel. There's no hourly limit. You just can continue to listen for as much as you want. So I have found that most of these services vary between like 10 to 15 US dollars per month. It does depend a lot on the service and obviously what currency it is based in, but that's what the vast majority, that's kind of like the going market rate, it seems like. And for me, it is well worth it. I listen to probably at least 2 books per month most months, so my subscription is about 9 US dollars. So I'm getting audiobooks for like $4, sometimes less, basically. And so for me, that is well worth it. But obviously, only you can know if that is worth it for you. If you don't feel like you are far enough along in your target language yet to listen to audiobooks, I do have a video that talks about this, about some strategies that I used to start listening to audiobooks when I didn't necessarily feel like I was advanced enough yet, but it ended up being the best thing for me. But if not, then something to look forward to later in your journey, and I definitely would recommend that everybody give it a try. So I would love to hear in the comments if you use audiobooks, whether they work for you, and I will see you in the next video.